Hello my treasures, it's time for another mercenary build. This time we are going to be revisiting Taunt Mercenaries with Vanndar as a big win condition within the build, while also having Nemsy for her Boggy Elemental, who uses the Boggy Moss equipment to protect our Vanndar so he could actually maybe get a avatar off. However, it also does allow us to use a different equipment for Vanndar that doesn't give him taunt, and thus use Bwonsamdi to turn any mercenary into a taunt mercenary, thus allowing you to have synergies with mercenaries that are not normally taunt mercenaries. Between these two, there's a lot of potential for a build like this. However, I don't think this one is going to be it. This is really just a for fun build. It can steal some games because people aren't expecting the synergy, and most people will focus down either Nemsy or Bwonsamdi before they focus down the Vanndar. Unless you get randomly hit by some frost bolts, then Vanndar can die almost instantly. But that is a really big toss-up depending on how the game wants to treat you for those matchups. But with that warning out of the way, for the Mercenary by Mercenary Breakdown, the first one on the team, of course, is going to be Nemsy, who uses the Bog Moss equipment. We are mainly using her for the Bwonsamdi ability, though you can use Boggy Blast to resummon your Boggy whenever it does die. Vanndar is the second mercenary on the team, and we're using the Unstoppable Force equipment on him because we don't have to rely on his immovable object equipment to give himself taunt. And speaking of that ability, you're mainly going to want to target Bwonsamdi before Vanndar on the first turn, unless you can actually nuke a mercenary on your opponent's board by targeting Vanndar instead, because he does have a high attack pool. The third mercenary on the team is Bwonsamdi. We are using Arena Contender as his equipment, so you can keep bouncing him back for irrefutable deal, though he is a really nice fighter to have on the team because he does a lot of damage with his first ability if you really need to. You can also, in theory, swap out his equipment for a new client, so you can actually resurrect one of your other mercenaries, but I do really prefer the Arena Contender in this build in particular. Athissa is the next mercenary on the team. We are using Warlord Harvish as her equipment as a way to get us additional Naga on board, so the Captive Tides will be a much higher damage output, and if it hits for critical damage, it's going to be 52 damage on whatever it does hit, and there are a lot of fighters currently in the meta. And she kind of serves as a backup for Nemsy on the starting lineup because you do have a taunt guaranteed with her battle cry. Malfurion is the next mercenary on the team, where we're using Life Root Staff as his equipment and mainly using Cenarian Surge as his ability. Guff is the final mercenary on the team. We are using Bramblethorn Totem, and this is a great equipment to actually use in this build, which is kind of a shock because would have expected being able to heal for 20 can actually save some of your mercenaries or even your boggies. You're mainly using him for living brambles as his main ability. However, Runic Slam can come up quite a lot as a way to actually just heal up all your mercenaries by a little bit, and Iron Bark can be really good if you have all your other nature mercenaries up on the board. With that all being said, let's look at some games. Okay, so it looks like they're mainly fighters, which might be really nice for us, mainly because of the fact that we don't have to deal with any casters that can snipe Vanndar out of Oblivion. And Valeera is something that I haven't really seen. I guess it makes sense with Trigor in theory. And Trigor is something I haven't really seen that much recently. Gonna buff up Bwonsamdi, bounce everything back because there's nothing here that makes me not want to do that. We could also attack with Boggy, but I think Boggy's going to die no matter what before he can actually attack. Yeah, he is going to die instantly. Bwonsamdi is going to get hit by a lot. This is a real nice counter to Valeera, to be honest. And Trigor. Because if you can keep Bwonsamdi from taking any damage each individual turn, and then you also have Boggy up, Boggy will always die to the Valeera Trigor combo, and then Bwonsamdi will always be hit by the Nefarian. Let's see if they put down the same three mercenaries again. We never know. Okay, Valeera. Okay, so they are just going to put down the same three. Because they were thinking for quite a while that it might be something different. They are going to be quicker than us for the most part. We're going to try to kill the Trigor this turn and try to bounce everything back, I think. Or is this the game where I was dumb and tried to use the Deal of Vanity to try to get Valera to hit into Bwonsamdi when it doesn't work like that? I guess it wasn't. I might actually try to do that in a later game, and it does look like they screwed up the order there. Should still be perfectly fine. Okay, everything hits that. Perfect. Exactly what we wanted to see. Now they're down the Trigor. Curious of what their bench is going to be. I'm assuming it's going to be Arcane. I kind of want to do something with Valera. I just don't know which new mercenary she'd be best with, to be honest. Bwonsamdi seems like a pretty good mercenary to use her with, I guess, in theory. But it does put 2 fighters on the opening lineup, which isn't the best thing to do in the world.
Here we go.
Your magic is mine.
Okay, so we're going to use the bounce back again. Put down Aaron instead. We are going to keep buffing up Bwonsamdi. And then we're going to try to get rid of Valera. Perfect. Getting rid of Valera is nice. I wonder if they're going to have Diablo on the bench if they had Cairn. If they do, we do have a really nice board to deal with the Diablo instantly because we have 40 HP or 40 attack Vanndar. So it is basically just the nature comp on the bench, except they're not using Bane, they're using Tyrande. I'm going to try to kill Tyrande this turn. I don't think we're going to be able to, but we can always try. And reminder, we do have Avatar. I really wish Vandar's last equipment wasn't based off of Avatar, because then I could have done something with the 3 dwarfs that we have in Standard. I mean, in Mercenaries. And honestly, because we won't probably ever see another Dwarven healer, it's kind of a shame that the healing equipment for Vanndar is only on an ability that has a cooldown of 2. And honestly, that ability I wish came up a lot more, but it sadly doesn't. They are going to kill our Vanndar. We're going to do 50 damage to the Long Shin. Do we want to do... Let's put down... No, Furion is probably the safest bet. I also didn't really want to taunt on Nemsy, but it is what it is. Still going to try to focus down the Tyrande. We could bounce everything back to try to get another golem out. We could also make them target Bwonsamdi, because if they attack with anything, then they're going to take a bunch of damage. I guess they could still have Diablo on bench. Oh no, it's Nefarian. I'm dumb. We never killed the Nefarian. They just swapped it out for the Tyrande. We're going to start healing for a bunch, which is really, really nice. We can't technically kill the Long Shin this turn. Yeah, that's probably going to be the safer bet. If we had the force everything to target Bwonsamdi, then we would have been in a much better position there. They are going to kill Malfurion. Okay, we should be able to snipe Long Shin next turn. I really don't like having a bunch of casters up with Tyrande still. Let's actually buff up Guff because it's funny, and if we can actually attack with him in a few turns, then it's going to be great. Oh, we can't actually snipe the Long Shin this turn because we don't have the last ability on Bwonsamdi up. That's kind of a shame. That's getting really, really scary. That could have been really, really bad. Okay, Tyrande's dead, so we don't have to worry about her anymore. don't think we have Bwonsamdi's third ability up right now. I think it's still on CD for additional turn, so we probably are keeping the long shin up. Ooh, everything's going to be super slow, isn't it? What do we want to do? What do we want to do? Well, we could, in theory, try to use Runic Slam, I guess. But I'm pretty sure we just win at this point. I don't think they have anything left alive that can just nuke our entire board. Yeah, we should just be able to win this turn. Or actually the following turn. This turn it won't happen, but the next turn it will. We can use the AoE. Ah, I didn't realize that we're not going to have the... Oh no, I did. Perfect. And voila, we win. I guess now, unless they... Yeah, they give up no matter what here. Oh, it's a Frostbot. Okay, fine with that. Gonna make that take no damage. Go for the local R. Let's see, what should we call this? Oh shit, they actually killed the Varden. Oh, that might be a little bit problematic. I actually did not expect them to be able to do that in a single turn. I'm assuming... Yeah, that's what did it. We got incredibly unlucky with the Varden hit. We are just going to lose this game. I don't think there's a way for us to actually come back. Well, we just have to... No, because it's slower. Let's do it like this. Trying to buff up the Guff so we can actually maybe get the local R dead. Trying to think of what to call this build. I guess it's technically nature, but of course they managed to kill that. I guess Bwonsamdi being put down next. This snipes that, gets rid of all the damage on board, even though it's probably not the best. Oh. Yeah, we're just going to play it safe, I guess. But the idea of buffing that up might be better. No, we just want it off of the board. Trying to get rid of Jaina next. And then we can bounce back everything. Bounce everything back. Make that quicker. And then we're going to... Oh, we're going to swap the order of these. Because we're trying to outspeed the Diablo. And then we're going to attack there. Because if we can outspeed the Diablo, it only is one tick compared to multiple ticks. For example. And then we also get our elemental backup. We actually might be able to win this in some weird world. But so we're gonna put this back down. Curious if I want to put up another taunt. Trying to think. I guess we could do it like this. Because if we put down Tide Mistress, we can then kill this. We really want the Jaina dead too, but... So this should hit here for enough. And then... Nothing attacks. We AoE everything. Try to do that. That's slower. Yeah, this should kill... If we get rid of the Diablo, we're good. Oh, that freeze. I didn't realize that was going to be quicker. Oh, perfect. But we want to be quicker again. Well, if we use this, let's actually swap the order of all these. For the people who don't know how Mercenaries works, the order of the abilities that you use that have the same speed is the order that they'll be used in, which means we can buff this up to a shit ton. And then we can use him the next turn to hit Diablo. Well, no, Diablo's going to be higher HP, but the point still stands. But we can make him do that. Because they're going to make everything quicker, or they're going to slow down all of our mercenaries. Okay, they're going to make everything quicker. It is a bot, so I'm not too shocked. That's how it was written. Then we get additional HP and everything here, or add back up. I don't know how I pulled this one out of my ass, but we did it. We somehow managed to do it. We still want to be quicker because it is Diablo. Keeping the Varden up for last is not that big of a deal. I'm assuming the bench is going to be Sinestra, which is another high target mercenary that we have to instantly kill or we're screwed. Yeah. Oh, that's actually kind of funny. We can kill this. We can make him hit here, and then do this. Yeah, this actually might kill it this turn. I'd be amazed. Absolutely amazed if that's how it'll work. Come on, that kills that. We get Boggy back up. Yes, okay, so we managed to actually pull this out of nowhere. I don't know how I managed to do it, but you know, it's whatever. Sometimes you win when you shouldn't win. Okay, so even split. Let's see what it actually is. Oh, so it's going to be a sort of mirror match, except they probably have the better version. Let's see how this actually goes. Going to buff up Bwonsamdi first. We're going to use Bwonsamdi's first ability on Brukan. We want to get Brukan killed as quickly as humanly possible. I know that if we bounced everything back, we just give them an additional Boggy, which doesn't really do us much. We're going to want to get her Brukan dead first, and then we can get Nemsy dead, or we could even just get Malfurion dead afterwards. It really just depends on how we want to do this. They're always going to be quicker than us because they do have the Malfurion out. We, in theory, could have bounced everything back just to get our Malfurion out, but I think I realize here we're going to use Soul Subjugation on Brukan because we're not going to be able to snipe them with the 2-speed ability. But having a 9-speed ability that does 28 damage normally, it's pretty nice, especially because we can't hit Brukan with anything else. Voila, 44. Ooh, that might be a little bit more annoying. Okay, we want everything to target Bwonsamdi so we don't have Vanndar die. We can use Avatar this turn, which is kind of really funny. We're going to snipe the... we should have went for Bane here. I think I do go for Bane. Yeah, because this does allow us to, in theory, use Bwonsamdi's second ability whenever we want to. They're going to be quicker, at least with the first hit. So Boggy Blast is going to hit Bwonsamdi, and our Golem is going to hit their Golem. We're going to kill their Totem. Oh, we're going to get really, really low. Luckily, we actually hit or protected ourselves a bit. Get the Bane dead. Now we have Malfurion and Guff, so we can keep up with them. Okay, Ysera. I want to do something with Ysera, but I don't think I'm going to do anything with her for now since we're doing nature right now. I think fire is the next build that I'm going to try out. And by fire, I mean Khadgar is really, really nice. because you can use him in combination with Belinda to buff up her elemental as much as humanly possible. I'm gonna try to get the Malfurion killed quickly, because I think that's our breakpoint, to be honest. If only we could actually guarantee lethal on the elemental, we would be in a nice position. I'm really curious of what the bench is going to be, though. Probably Durande, actually. Okay, that's going to hit probably Malfurion. Yep, that's what I would do. I'm getting dangerously close to killing their Malfurion, which is nice. And our Guff is getting buffed up a lot too. We can buff up the Malfurion since they don't have anything that gives or attacks. We don't care about buffing him up like that. Then we're going to use Cenarian Surge on Ysera, though I think the better bet would have been to use it on Malfurion just to guarantee us lethal. Because now we're relying on speed ties. Speed ties we could still... Maybe... There we go. Exactly what we want to see. Turns out bouncing everything back is not always the plan. Guff is getting low, and we want to keep him alive since he should be our main win condition, I think. This is a dangerously close game, is the issue. We can actually use Iron Bark to help protect him for a turn. We do kind of need to get the Durande killed because we do have 2 casters. But if we kill the Ysera, the Durande doesn't really have good targets for her second ability. Or third ability, I mean. Let's do it like this. Hope it works out for us. Because we should be healing for a bunch, getting a bunch more attack, getting a bunch more HP on everything. Okay, perfect. They're hard targeting the Guff. Honestly, that's what I would do too, if I was them. Oh, they're going for Malfurion also. Huh. Hey, what do we want to do? Let's still go after the Ysera. Come on. Got Ysera, I think, this turn. Nice thing about keeping Nemsy alive is it doesn't really do much if we can get rid of everything else on the board. And they give up. Okay, now that we're through the games, let's discuss my final thoughts of the build. Overall, this build was quite fun to play around with. However, I don't think this is the strongest build in the world, mainly because it has 2 clear weaknesses, Khadgar and Yu'lon. Both of those mercenaries kind of counteract what this build is trying to do. Yu'lon prevents taunts incidentally and isn't actually trying to do that, and Khadgar roots everything in place on the first turn, though you can still scale up your damage on your taunt mercenaries even if they are rooted. They just won't do any damage. Which means until we can get a little bit more extra taunt synergy, I don't think this is one that I can honestly recommend for you to play. Unless you've been really wanting to use Vanndar in something, this is probably the best way that you are going to be able to. Vanndar himself has incident synergy with the rest of the nature-based team on the bench because his first ability is nature, which is why I ended up going with a nature bench for the team. I did have some really fun games, which is the reason why I didn't want to scrap this build, even though I did have a few backup plans and I wanted to get this out before we got the big announcement on Tuesday, whatever it is. And by the time this is actually uploaded, that should have been revealed. But like always, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, bye-bye.